Hey guys, Anthony the Rag Company, and in today's video, we are giving Matt Armstrong's RS6 Avant its first rinseless wash. So we are here visiting our friend Tavarish in the Sunshine State of Florida. And while he's in the other warehouse struggling, working on a different project, we stumbled across this warehouse full of awesome and familiar cars. One or two that we've had in our very own SEMA booth. And then we saw this right here, Matt Armstrong's RS6 Avant, and this thing was pretty dusty. So we thought in celebration of him just getting this thing running, why not give it its first rinseless wash using P&S Absolute, the multi-towel method, and other premium microfiber products, and get this thing looking glossy and showroom ready. So with that said, let's jump into it. All right, so jumping straight into this, we have our IK Multi Pro 2 360 filled with Absolute 256-1. Now, this RS6 is pretty dirt nasty, I'm not gonna lie. I backed this thing in here, gave it a couple revs. It was pretty insane. So what I can see so far is that this car is, I think, mostly wrap. It's got this kind of gray, I believe, SunTech wrap on it, and then it's got some matte black on it, and then I think the roof here is still technically paint because this matches the same color that's in the door jambs. But overall, I asked the guys about the car. They said this was not coated. It doesn't have any protection on it whatsoever. So Absolute will be good, but we might find something back in a cabinet somewhere to add some protection because, to be honest, we packed a lot of things, but not any protectant products, weirdly enough. Now, with the multi-towel method, there's a couple different ways to do the multi-towel method. You could literally have enough towels in the bucket to be able to wipe down the entire vehicle and then set one aside as you go along, meaning you'll use all 8 sides of the towel, then set it aside. Me, I have 4 Eagle Edgeless 500s in my Absolute bucket, and what I'm going to do is basically use several of the towels, flip through all 8 sides, go back in the bucket for each section. But once we start getting towards the lower areas of the car with all the carbon fiber and most of the dirt, I will be going through the towels one by one using all 8 sides and then setting them aside depending on what's dirtiest and what's cleanest. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a demotion process as I'm going along. All right, so as far as rinseless towels go, there's plenty of awesome towels that we have that work well for rinseless. The Eagle 500 is great because it's very spongy and it's very absorbent once you dunk it into water, right? So you're gonna have this kind of cushioning effect as you're going along. What I'm gonna do, fold this into fourths here, come over to the roof, and I'm going to work in straight lines, just like that. I'm gonna be pulling that dirt. Now, depending on how dirty the towel is, I will then kind of change how I roll this. So I can see that most of the dirt collected towards the front, so I'll still use the back of the towel, continue to roll it forward, and then about finish it off. And then what I can do, flip to my other side over here, being clean, same process. Go through, roll the towel away, and that side actually looks pretty dang clean. So I'll make another pass with that. So how this will typically work is, depending on how much dirt you're pulling in your towel washing process, is how often I'm gonna flip the towel or how often I may reuse that side. So if I do an area and I look and I go, okay, didn't really pull any dirt, the towel looks pretty clean, I'll go back through and reuse that side all day long. Now, because glass is much less likely to mar, I will typically take one of my dirty sides of the towel here and knock out my glass with all one side. So no flipping of the towels necessary. I'll just go through, knock out the glass, knock out the window trim, all in one run. Flip my towel to the other side. All right, so the glass is done. So this towel, let's go ahead and look at it. We've got dirt buildup here. We've got a relatively clean side over here. So at this point, it's up to you or up to me to say, should I put this back in the bucket? Do I agitate it on the grit guard? Do I allow it to release the dirt? Now keep in mind, I have 3 other clean towels in that bucket. So do I want to contaminate those towels with this towel? Well, looking at this towel, I don't think it's that dirty. I think it's actually going to do a pretty good job releasing and falling below the grit guard. So I'm going to say, yes, this is going back in the bucket. I'm going to let this soak and pull out a different towel. You know what's crazier than the arrow on this RS6 Avant? Not subscribing to the Rag Company YouTube channel. What are you waiting for? Subscribe down below for more and watch me struggle cleaning this car. I'm gonna come over here, start somewhere in the middle, make my way down, roll my towel out. We can see we've actually picked up quite a bit of dirt. So flip my towel to the other side and work in straight lines like this. Now this is a wash method that anybody can do in their garage. You can do it in an apartment complex. You could literally do this anywhere. Now I am noticing that this wrap is pretty delicate though. It's got plenty of swirl marks on it. I am not sure if you can polish SunTech wraps. I have no idea. Hood is done. We're gonna go ahead, finish the front end, and then we'll talk about what I'm gonna do for the doors and all the carbon fiber. All right, so how I've been doing this is going from least dirty area to the dirtiest, obviously. So starting with the roof first, you saw some light dust on it. We did the windows here, the mirror, did the hood. Hood wasn't bad. Front bumper wasn't bad at all. All the carbon fiber canards, not bad at all. Now the sides here, this is gonna pick up quite a bit of filth, and I can tell because here on these brakes, these things are massive and they're kicking up a ton of brake dust, but he's also got ducting here, which kicks out here along the side of the car. So I know that from pretty much here downward, everything's gonna be pretty filthy, and especially the back because it's a hatch and the back of hatches get absolutely just, they're bad. So what we're gonna do from here is work on the doors, and I'm gonna work to about right here, because at that point in time, all of my towels should still be relatively clean. And so I'm gonna save everything below there and then the hatch for last. So it's gonna be the last things I do with those 4 towels. And the wheels are a different story, but we're just gonna focus on the car itself. I'm gonna show you something right here. So remember when I talked about that halfway point? Watch this. Oh, I can feel it. Is that not the dirtiest side of the towel that we've seen so far in the detail? So we're probably gonna stop there. I'm gonna flip the towel, clean up this area around the door cups, and then leave everything else for the bottom here. So we're gonna move on to the door here, this rear quarter, then knock out the other side. All right, so staying on this side of the car, we're gonna go ahead and continue on with the lower portion here. Unlock my trigger. Absolute's doing an awesome job, so go ahead and pre-spray. And you can never really pre-spray too much. Some people kind of, you know, may not pre-spray enough. And this is where I don't really know the best method for this, right? I've never been like a canard person. So what I didn't want, what's happening here, picking up a few different rocks. I knew that this thing was gonna kick up a ton of rocks. So I'm gonna try to just be careful here, be mindful of that, and kind of cut it to where I'm not going to pick up anything that's super abrasive. This is where, you know, if you do have, not that many of you probably do, have crazy aggressive canards, you could also just pressure wash it and pre-spray it. What I did off camera was take an Ego blower and blow away a lot of the rocks off camera. So we've pretty much hit everything over here. So I'm not gonna put this towel back yet. I'm gonna set it right here on the edge of my bucket. And if I do need to pull this out, I will. But what I'll do is just pull a different towel out. What even is this diffuser? This is insane, dude. I mean, I've seen some diffusers. That's so much surface area. That's insane. Okay, so same process here. We're gonna be working from top to an endless bottom. Come through here, back to this carbon fiber, flip the towel. This is where, dude, it's gonna start getting, I think it's gonna start picking up quite a bit. All right, so last but not least, we have the lowers on these 2 doors, and that's it. Actually, that is it. So we're gonna go ahead. All right, so we're gonna handle the drying process, but what I wanna do for right now is we're gonna go ahead and pull out all of our Eagles. So there's 4 towels in here. Whatever liquid is left over, the Absolute, which actually still looks pretty good in my opinion, we're gonna use for the wheels. So let's get these out of here. Let's get to the drying process first. All right, so for the drying step, we have more Absolute mixed up, 256:1. So for any areas that have dried, don't fret. Absolute doesn't leave water spots. So we go ahead and spray our areas once more. Take our towel, simply dry everything off. It's going to dry to a very nice, clean finish. Absolute does feel awesome. But there is one thing though. This thing doesn't have any protection, so I think it's time to find an old friend. All right, so remember when I said we didn't bring any type of protection products? That was true, we really didn't have anything. But fortunately, Rex had some Hyperseal on him. So we threw on a Tollco sprayer and we are ready to add some protection. Easy as that. So we're gonna go ahead, spray the whole car down with more Absolute, and then use Hyperseal as our drying aid with our liquidator. All right, so now it's time for the wheels. The whole car is cleaned, it's dry, it's looking glossy. So the wheels I can do separately. The reason why is because I'm doing everything rinseless, so I can keep everything pretty isolated. So we're gonna show you one here as an example, and then do the rest off camera. So I have a dirty wheel here. So how I'm gonna start this off is Green Star here. I got this in here at, I believe, 20-1. So a relatively light mix, but it's still gonna have some pretty strong cleaning power. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-spray the wheel here. And since I don't have any barrel brushes, we are just going to do the faces the best we can. So I'll usually let that sit for 20-30 seconds or so, but I don't want it to dry. And after I let that sit, I'm gonna grab my IK sprayer full of Absolute at 256-1. I'm gonna follow up, and everything at this point is just melting off. You can see that we're actually making quite the mess there. So now I have some cleaning power, and I also have lubrication. So what I need from here is a towel to do the job. So here is a Pearl Weave that we were using earlier that's still relatively clean, and I threw this in with the Absolute. See, it looks pretty good. This is a great job for towels that have been used or towels that you've demoted over time. So go through and, you guessed it, we're just gonna clean the wheels and dunk back in the bucket as needed. Now after I'm done here, what I'll do is I'll rinse with Absolute one more time, and then I'll dry the wheel just to dilute any of the APC that's left over. So we're gonna do that process, knock out all three, and hopefully wrap this thing up. All right, so we just finished up with the wheels, and this thing is looking significantly better. Now keep in mind, this is wrap, and this wrap is not perfect. There's still some minor swirls and things like that in there, but for the most part, this thing does look pretty dang mean and pretty dang glossy. So Hyperseal did add a ton of gloss. Absolute made it a breeze to wash. Hopefully you guys learned something new, and hopefully Matt Armstrong enjoys his glossy RS6 Avant next time he's in town. So thank you, Matt, for letting us wash your car, whether you know it or not. So as always, if you guys enjoy seeing the detailing videos here at the Rag Company YouTube channel, please make sure to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe down below for more, and stay tuned for more details right here at the Rag Company.